Welcome back. The artificial intelligence is all around us. AI powers the Alexa, Google Assistant, Siri, and other digital assistants. AI makes sense of our natural language searches to deliver the optimal result. When we chat with a company representative on a website, we often are chatting with an AI system. AI has defeated the human, the world champion of chess. AI is advancing the diagnostics medicine, driving the cars, and makes all types of risk assessments. AI even enables the predictive coding that has made the document review more efficient. Yet, if you are like one chief legal officer I know, AI remains on your list of things you need to learn about. Now is the time. There are growing calls for more government oversight of technology as AI becomes more common, more powerful, and
Probability
more
of reaching a target.
influential in our
Probability of
society
reaching a target.
and
Probability
our
of reaching a
economies.
target.
It is catching
Acquisition
the
on
attention
target.
of
Acquisition on target. Acquisition on
legislators and the
target.
regulators when a prominent tech giant publicly proclaimed that there is no question of my mind that AI needs to be regulated. The questions are when and how, not whether AI will be regulated or not. Indeed, certain aspects of AI already are regulated, and the pace of regulations and the regulatory development is accelerating. What do you need to know and what steps can take away to stay ahead of this curve of regulatory methods? Before plunging into the present and future of AI regulations, let's review what AI is and how the leading type works. There are many different definitions of AI, but experts broadly conceive of two versions, a narrow or weak and the general or strong. All existing AI is a narrow, meaning that it can perform one particular function. General AI, also termed as artificial intelligence, in general, can perform any task and adapt to any situation. AGI could be as flexible as human intelligence and they theoretically could improve itself until it far surpasses the human capabilities. For now, AGI remains in the realm of science fiction and authorities disagree on whether AGI is even possible. While serious people and organizations do ponder how to regulate the AGI in case someone creates it, current regulatory initiatives focused on narrow AI. Some types of AI, machine learning, has enabled the recent explosion of AI applications. Machine learning systems learn from the past data by identifying the patterns and correlations within it. Whereas traditional software and some other types of AI run particular inputs to a pre-programmed model or set of rules such as defined result. A machine learning system builds its own model like patterns and the correlations from the data it's trained upon. The systems then can apply the model to make the prediction about the new data. Algorithms are new probabilistics. We are not asking the computers to produce a defined result every time, but to produce an undefined result based on the general rules. In other words, we are asking the computers to make a guess. To take an example from the legal practice, a technology-assisted documented review, the lawyers will code a small sample of the document collections as a responsive or not responsive. The machine learning system will identify the pattern and the correlation, distinguishing the same document as a sample one that were coded responsive from those that are not responsive. It is then can predict whether any new document is responsive and measure the model's confidence in its prediction. For the validation, the lawyers will review the prediction for another sample of documents, and the system will refine its model with the corrections. The process will iterate until the assumptions and the process is satisfied with the model's accuracy. At that point, the lawyers can use the system to quote the entire document collection for the responsiveness with whatever human quality control they desire. The quality of the training dataset matters greatly. The machine learning systems assume the accuracy of what is told about the training data. With the document review example, when it's train the system, they incorrectly code every email written by a salesperson as a responsive. They will bias the model towards the predicting that every sales team email in the collection is responsive. Note that I did not say that they will train the model to identify the every sales team email as a responsive. The miscoded training data will increase the probability that the model will predict any given sales team, and it will not make this a certainty. Other things about an email might overcome the bias. For instance, they may have coded every email about the medical appointment as non-responsive. As a result, the model might nevertheless predict that the email about the medical appointment is non-responsive, even if it comes from a salesperson. Several characteristics of an AI drive the calls for regulations. The AI predictions are sometimes inaccurate, which can injure both individual and the society. Poorly performing AI might underestimate a person's fitness for a job or creditworthiness. AI could crash a car by misperceiving the environmental condition or misjudging what another vehicle will do. In short, AI could harm the individual in all the way that humans and their creation already do, and probably some novel ways too. The policymakers may leave the redress to the court, but there may be in the gaps in existing law that legislators decide to fill with new causes of the actions. The government also may turn to regulation as a prophylactic to supplement the tort system, as many countries have done in areas such as food and consumer product safety. The pressure may be even greater to regulate the AI application that might cause the societal harm. For instance, the AI can discriminate against the member of historically disadvantaged group. Imagine a human resource AI application trained to identify the best job candidates by finding those most similar to the previous hires, free from the implicit bias we all carry. It should be completely objective in the selecting the best candidates for what company, right? And that imagine further that the applicant pool whose resumes comprised the training set was predominantly male. The facial recognition technology also raised the social justice concerns. A study of 189 facial recognition systems found the minorities were falsely named much more frequently than whites and women more often than men. Privacy questions aside, using facial recognition to identify the criminal suspect that makes these racial differences particularly troubling because falsely identified individuals may be surveilled, searched, or even captured. The technology's promise is to help us escape the bias all people have. Instead, however, these examples show how AI can wind up reinforcing our collective biases. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.